Hi, it's me again with Corel Draw Tips and Tricks, and I made this for help somebody make this yesterday, and I finished it. It's perfect, I think. And I'm going to share the file on my Facebook page under Corel Draw File Share. It'll be right here under the file section called Sugar and Spice. But I thought I'd tell a little bit about it in case you didn't watch the other videos and you want to cut this out. With your nudge factor set on 20 inches, there's actually two parts. These are black hairlines. What they're going to do is they're hairlines, so they will vector engrave. So what I would do is nudge that out of the way and put this wherever you're going to have it on your wood and cut this out at 100 power and 10 speed, 5 speed, whatever it takes to get through your MDF or your plywood. And then nudge it out of the way and then bring this into your laser bed and vector engrave this at 100 power, but only like 50 or 60 speed. It won't cut through the wood, but it'll mark the letters, and what that does, it adds a little embellishment to make the text look basically more readable, because the black lines will be just continuation of the letter, but they won't cut out. If you look right here, we'll grab the black and nudge it out of the way. So these are your cut lines. So if you didn't have those black, you could still read it, but it's going to add a little detail to it. But I thought I'd show a couple of things. They are all hairlines. So we can make it whatever size we want. Let's say we only want it 15 inches tall. So it's still going to work. And then you just place it in your laser where you want to cut it out and grab it, and you can still nudge it out of the way and still have those lines. Now, also, how are you going to hang it? I'm not going to do this part because this is really easy, but let's change it back to the 17.5 like I had yesterday. And I'm going to draw a rectangle that is, with this unlocked, I'm going to make it 17.5 by 0.28 to make it the thickness of the other line. And we can actually select all this and hit L on your keyboard, and that'll bring it in perfectly over the top. Then let's get a little closer and bring that down, holding the control button, and bring it in about like right there. Now, if you wanted to add some embellishment to that and continue that, I hopefully will be able to get to that at the end. But if you wanted to do that, you would make another copy of everything right now and move that over. And then we can actually delete everything below that bar and even that part, and then take that rectangle and nudge out of the way, and here's our embellishment, I call it, and then just make it black. Right click in your mouth. And then what I would do immediately would be to take the black line and nudge it out of the way, and then nudge this over with it, and then group this together. Control G, and then that way all the letters will be embellished. As you see, now we got the top part. It doesn't always work, so what I'm going to have to do is cut out this bottom line. Well, I haven't welded it yet. That's the problem. Let's just back up here. So let's take this black embellishment and nudge it out of the way, and then select this, hold down the shift key and select that and weld it. Grab that, hold down the shift key, and then weld that. And that got rid of our, so it's now solid, and you can always test that with your Smart Fill tool and see what it looks like, and it looks good. I kind of like the bar on top. Now, before you put the black back, let's put some sort of hanger to hold it up with some ribbon or something. So I'm going to draw a circle and make it. Let's lock our ratio. Let's make it a 1/2 inch circle, 0.5 inch circle. And then let's make make another circle inside of there. So all you have to do is take that circle and Control D, and then hold down your Shift key and it'll grow from the outer edge. And then let's group this together, Control G, let's Control D and make a duplicate of it. Well, let's don't do that yet. Tell you what we're gonna do now. We're gonna put this in the, well, to do that, we have to move it all. So let's nudge this thing over. And now let's group this together. Control G, and we're gonna put it in the center of the page. And then we're gonna take our circle and hit P, put it in the center of the page. You just want this thing kind of even, and then grab your circle and just move it up to the top so it's in the center of the page. This thing is 17.5 inches long, so let's go with 16, and let's move it over and leave it an inch, so let's move it over 7 inches. And let's Control D and make a duplicate and move that over 7 inches. Move this over 7 inches. And now we have 2 equal parts. And then instead of welding it, what I would actually do here is change my nudge factor to 20 again. And I would, just in case we're gonna mess up I grouped it together, if you remember. I'm gonna get rid of this bar. Don't need it anymore. So take this and ungroup it. Don't ungroup all, just ungroup. And then try to grab the black and nudge out of the way. Now, instead of trying to weld this, I'd much prefer using the virtual segment delete key and just delete these lines. It's so much safer. Sometimes if you haven't done things in the right order, and this is actually going to be a pretty cool joint. You just got to imagine. So whenever I do anything like that, I still take the Smart Fill tool and fill it in. Then I can nudge that over twice, and I'm going to left click, right click on red, make sure it's hairline. We can get rid of all this now. We do not need any of that. And the reason I did that, because if you move this, your holes don't move because they're not really connected. So if you use the Smart Fill tool, all the holes will be connected. And then just nudge this over and put it in your laser bed wherever you want it. Now you can still resize it. That's not a problem. It will make your holes a little bit smaller, but I would select the whole thing to resize it, and let's make it just 20 inches tall. So it made our holes a little bit smaller. You could test that, but that's still plenty big. Anyway, I hope that helped a little bit, and feel free to use that file. Anyway, hope that helped a little bit. Thank you for